Welcome to News Now Alberta. This is Special Ed. We're going to Colorado, where a cop murders a woman because of what he thinks he saw. And of course, this cop gets away with it.
Cops fatally shoot a pregnant woman in a case of mistaken identity. Boy, this is so tough. Colorado police this time. They shot and killed a pregnant woman they believe stole from Target and dragged an officer under a minivan in an escape. They were wrong. Now the city owes her family $2 million. Doesn't seem like enough. Wow. Colorado police officer Anthony Bonallo claimed he shot and killed Destiny Thompson in a case of mistaken identity because he believed the pregnant woman was dragging a fellow officer under her car as she was speeding away from a group of aggressive police officers who had already shattered her passenger window. But the Arvada police officer he claimed to have been protecting was standing only a few feet away from him in his line of vision.
So, first of all, this was the wrong woman. It was not the woman that was suspected of stealing stuff from this store. Now, also, there was no cop underneath her van being dragged at all. She was an innocent bystander or an innocent person that panicked when the cops started busting her windows. So she drove off and she was shot while she was driving off.
According to a video reenactment created by the Arvada Police Department, because none of the cops on the scene were wearing body cams. Are we still not wearing body cams? It's now 2025, and we're still got to piece it together with a reenactment because, oh, here's a jurisdiction that doesn't have body cams. Wow. Now the Arvada Police Department has agreed to pay Thompson's family $2 million. It's a settlement announced earlier this week, according to NBC News. Officer Bonallo's stated reason for killing Miss Thompson was because he thought another officer, Sergeant Jeff Orndorff, was being dragged under Miss Thompson's van, stated the lawsuit filed against the Arvada Police Department in 2023. Lana Blackstar with the details. But Sergeant Orndorff was standing in plain view a few feet away, safe and sound. Anyone in Officer Bonallo's position could and should have seen him. It was also obvious that no one was being dragged under Miss Thompson's minivan as it drove away from officers, probably scared, trying to save her life and that of her child. Officer Bonallo's decision to kill Miss Thompson was patently unreasonable, as shown by law enforcement's own reconstruction of the scene at the time. Officer Bonallo shot and killed Miss Thompson. But as usual, Bonallo was cleared of any criminal charges by the district attorney, who claimed in her report that any reasonable person would have shot and killed the 27-year-old mother of three who was in her 7th month of pregnancy under the existing circumstances.
So the prosecutor is saying that anybody would have shot this innocent woman dragging nobody under her van. That is the reason why they didn't want to take the cop to court. Well, there was other cops at the scene that didn't pull their gun and didn't shoot her. So were they wrong?
However, Siddhartha Ratha, the attorney representing Thompson's family, argued that the reasonable officers were the 3 cops at the scene who did not fire their guns at the fleeing vehicle because they knew she was not a threat to them. Here's the woman who was actually accused of shoplifting from Target and threatening an employee with a switchblade. There's her mugshot. Look, I know they're not perfect. Things are happening fast, real time. There's noise around. There's commands being shouted. But isn't what's reasonable what the other 75% of the officers responding to this did? They did not fire their service weapons. They did not kill this mother of 3. That if you don't know what you see, what you don't, and you can't figure it out, but the rest on the scene can, I don't know what I'm even trying to say, Ben. Things happen.
If you want to see the full video, I'll leave a link to the video, a link to their page. I've done this page before. They're really awesome. I really like them. Go check them out. But this was murder. Plain and simple, in my eyes, it was a murder. And the fact that they did not try to prosecute this cop is a horrible, horrible misjustice. So, when interviewed, the cops said that this woman didn't fit the description, but they wanted to talk to her anyway. And the woman told her that she wasn't the woman they were looking for. She didn't have ID to show them. But the police spokesman said that the officers has reasonable suspicion to believe Thompson may have been involved in the robbery and were therefore justified in contacting her. So the cops said that she didn't look like the suspect. They didn't think he was a suspect, and all of a sudden they have reasonable suspicion. Like, make up your mind. So the attorney said that she's done nothing wrong, and she's confronted by the policeman doesn't want to talk to them. You have the right not to talk to the police. Thompson, sitting in a minivan, surrounded by 5 officers, locked the door and refused to get out, repeating, "It wasn't me." The district attorney wrote in a 2022 letter explaining the decision not to charge the officer. One plainclothes officer smashed the passenger window with a baton, and Thompson backed the car up, hitting a police vehicle parked behind her. She then drove forward over a curb and onto the road. So he shot her while she was on the road already. Now, she shouldn't have panicked. She shouldn't have backed up into a car. She shouldn't have ran over a curb. I get that. Bootlickers are going to say that. Pig suckers are going to say that. But she panicked. She was scared for her life when they broke her window. This happens. You don't get shot for that. And the cop was being dragged under a car. That was an excuse. I mean, you could clearly see if a cop's being dragged under a car. Now, there was a $2 million settlement for this. It should have been $20 million. She was a mother of 3, an innocent woman. What do you think of this? Do you think that cop should have been at least prosecuted for involuntary manslaughter or, I think murder, but, cops don't get murder usually? Just let me know in the comments what you think. Please like, share, and subscribe. Check out my Patreon where for $1 a month you can get my videos a week in advance with other perks coming. Thank you.